Another great exercise that's going to help you a lot with the inversions, and actually it's just a fun exercise, is crow. There are a few names: crow, crane, also frog stand. So let me show you two options and we're going to talk through about them. So option number one that you might see a lot is this. And option number two is nice and engaged up. So let's talk about the differences between these two. So first of all, crow is great exercise because it's going to help you to feel the balance. So the shift of weight over here to go forward is necessary, otherwise you won't be able to actually balance. So it's the first exercise that's going to help you to understand weights shift and also engagement of your fingers, because very often to stop yourself from falling, you really need to squeeze the floor. So what is the difference between two options? We also did tuck lifts in the beginning for the warm-up, if you remember, and we were really trying to bring your knees close towards your body and lift your hips up. So that's an important part in a crow. To be honest, to have any further progression, you want to maintain next main tips. So number one is your arms. You want to really rotate your triceps in. So it's external rotation in your shoulder, triceps coming back rather than out forwards. You really want to have that. What's happening is that when you're rolling it in, the closer you are, the more squeezing in, the more power you have. Why is it going against the second option when you're actually pretty wide and relaxed in your legs? The thing is that the smaller you are, the more power you have because there's a lot of engagement. But the wider you are, the more balanced you are. So it's a very easy kind of cheat, is to go just super wide and just find your balance in a wide position. However, you cannot really progress further from there, except if you really start to change what you're doing. So let's go again. So triceps in, you really want to engage your fingers. Next step is your legs. So you could see in the first option, in the relaxed one, the legs were on the side and really kind of hanging relaxed. When they're relaxed, it's actually meaning that it's going to be a dead weight over your wrists, which are also very small, and you don't want to put extra tension into them. So instead of actually relaxing your legs, what you want to do is that create that extra tension, because the more you squeeze, the more power you will have. So try to bring your legs a bit more in. So there's a constant drive in and up. That's going to engage your core and really help you to be lighter. So if you want to press from a crow into handstand, you really need to understand that your legs have to be engaged. Though you can always muscle it through from your shoulders, it's going to be so much easier if your legs have engagement. The same issue happens very often when people say, well, but my knees slide down. So they just put the knees at first up into their armpits or triceps, and they just slide down immediately. That does feel pretty painful on your triceps and on your skin, and you might even feel red marks afterwards. Why is it happening? Because there is no drive from your core or from your legs. So even if you have tightness issues and you need to keep your knees a little bit out, think about drive them in, and that's going to add that extra power and you can be more engaged. So if you need, you can always come back to practicing little tucks, where you're actually feeling that your legs have to stay tight in and keep on lifting your hips up. Another interesting point in a crow is very often people use bands, and they will feel really stable. Why? Because when your triceps or your elbows going out, flaring out, and you put a band that stops you, you actually creating two opposite forces that going against each other, and that obviously creates a lot of force. However, it doesn't teach you the necessary forms that you need to apply by yourself. So I would highly recommend maybe use band once or twice just to feel what it means. However, instead, really put your awareness into your arms and think about you want to squeeze your elbows inside rather than letting them flaring out. Think about push-ups or even pike push-ups or any similar exercises. Try to practice that engagement even when you hold a plank. So now taking into attention all these little tips, going back to leaning forward. So another important point in a crow is that you have to shift your weight forward. If you don't shift, you won't be able to hold it. So let's try to give it a go. So we're going to try to lift your knees up high And you're going to engage your fingers. You're going to start shifting forward as if you want to create a triangle between your head and your hands. So try to maintain, keep your core tight. Try to keep on lifting the knees, lean forward. You will notice how light your feet will become. If you just squeeze your heels up, you're going to be up. And it's going to be really stable. What if you have a fear? If you have a fear to fall, just put a pillow in front of you or a block and just try to overcome that fear. Another option could be even putting your head into it, trying to understand how much you could lift. So let's say at first I'm going to try to fall into the block. So hands a bit in front of the block. I'm going to lean forward and let's say I'm falling. You can see there's nothing scary over there. Another option could be even keeping it higher and actually putting your head almost into the block. I wouldn't recommend this option. However, you can give it a go if you face fears in a crow. So for example, you could actually put your head and try to engage your core and then try to lift your head. So you can notice if you lift your head too fast, your feet gonna go down. So it's the same seesaw option like we do in a handstand. So let's try it again. We're gonna put our head down, lift our legs. Now maintain, lift very slow. Put it down, lift very slow. You can notice if you actually put attention into balance, it's going to be much easier, and it could be a great start if you face issues in a crow. Another last tip is if you're actually feeling that your hips are not coming up. It could be fear, it could be flexibility, or just still needing work on it. What can help is actually elevating your feet up. So let's think if you elevate your feet up, your hips going to come up as well. Let's start even with one block. So you're going to bring your feet up and you're going to keep your hands in front. You're going to, now it's very comfortable because you don't need to even work to lift yourself up. So from here you're going to start leaning forward and you will feel how much easier it is to lift the feet up. Don't lift them too high. The last point that I just want to mention to you guys, don't look inside towards your feet. Try to look forward, because what's happening once you're looking inside is that you're driving yourself lower and most probably gonna fall down. Comparison to looking slightly forward, not too far, just a little bit. It's gonna make nice alignment and easy to lift. What happened is that I actually shifted forward rather than inside. I hope that helps. Give it a go, play around with it.